Have you ever wondered why some seniors fall while others don't, even when they seem equally active? What if I told you that 7 small, often overlooked muscles might be silently pushing you toward your next fall? And what if just 2 minutes a day could protect you from injury and help you walk with strength and confidence again? If you're over 60, moments like catching your toe on a rug or hesitating at a doorway may seem like nothing. But these subtle stumbles are not just harmless quirks. They're early warnings, signals from your lower legs that the muscles responsible for balance and stability are weakening. These muscles control nearly 90% of the falls that land older adults in the emergency room, every 11 seconds. But here's the good news. Hope doesn't come in the form of expensive treatments or long rehab sessions. Just 2 minutes of daily effort can begin to restore your balance and reduce your fall risk by a staggering 85%. That's not theory, it's real-life change, and by the end of this video, you'll know the simple, effective moves that could change your life. Take James Carter, for example. At 68, this proud veteran was no stranger to discipline and strength. He went from suffering a fall that shook his independence to confidently striding across his backyard again. And the secret? Exercises so simple and accessible that anyone can do them, right at home. Before we dive in, I'd truly appreciate your support. If this video speaks to you, please hit the like button. If you've gained something helpful, comment with the number 1. If not, feel free to comment with a 0. Your feedback helps me make better content for you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, so you never miss out on more valuable health tips designed specifically for seniors. Now, let's begin with a story that changed everything. A fall that stopped a hero in his tracks. Meet James Carter, a retired Air Force colonel living in Boise, Idaho. His life had long been a picture of strength and routine. A man of unwavering discipline, James was the kind who woke up at 5 a.m. sharp, did 50 push-ups before breakfast, and spent his mornings golfing or swimming laps. His neighbors admired him. His old squad mates respected him. Even the younger lifeguards at the community pool looked up to him. They all called him the Colonel who never aged. But in March of last year, that image was shaken to its core. On a quiet Tuesday morning, James walked into his kitchen, just like he always did, ready for his first cup of coffee. As he reached for his old Air Force mug, an old chipped ceramic from his days of service, something unexpected happened. He had been stationed overseas, yet at that moment in his own home, James's foot caught on nothing at all. No rug, no shoes, no visible obstacle, just air. In a split second, his strong frame crumpled to the ground. He found himself flat on his back, staring up at the ceiling in stunned disbelief. The shock of the fall was jarring, but it was the emotional toll that hit even harder. As he lay there on the cold tile floor, a sharp pain surged through his side. His thoughts raced, his mind swirling with confusion. What just happened? Did I trip? Am I seriously hurt? He tried to sit up, but his body wouldn't cooperate. Paramedics arrived and gently lifted him onto a stretcher, confirming what he already feared, a hairline fracture in his hip. Although not life-threatening, the injury was significant. It immediately removed him from the life he once knew, active mornings, rounds of golf, independent living. But the most terrifying part? The uncertainty of recovery. Without the right treatment and time, he might never walk the same again, or worse, never walk unaided at all. I felt like I betrayed my own body, James would later admit, his voice heavy with emotion. All I could think about was, what if this is it? What if I can't walk my granddaughter down the aisle like I promised? But that moment didn't mark the end of his story. It was the beginning of something even more powerful, a rediscovery of strength and purpose he never knew he needed. Following surgery and his initial recovery phase, James was transferred to a specialized rehabilitation center at the VA, where he met Dr. Emily Stone, a veteran sports medicine specialist known for her deep insight and attention to the smallest details. After several evaluations and physical therapy sessions, Dr. Stone sat down with James and delivered news that surprised him. "Colonel Carter," she said gently but with quiet firmness, "you didn't fall because your bones failed you. You fell because your balance gave out. And balance, believe it or not, relies on 7 tiny muscles most people, especially seniors, don't even know exist." James was taken aback. A man who had lived by routine, trained his body for decades, and prided himself on his strength, now realized that these neglected muscles were his blind spot, the silent weakness that had brought him down. Determined to reclaim his independence, James dedicated himself fully to Dr. Stone's custom therapy plan. The regimen wasn't about building brute strength. It focused on targeting the small, essential muscles responsible for balance, coordination, reaction speed, and the ability to lift the foot during walking, skills most people overlook until they begin to fail. Over 6 weeks, James trained with patience and persistence. Slowly, his movements became more stable. His posture improved. He began walking with confidence. By the 8th week, not only was he walking without assistance, he was back at the golf driving range, swinging with more precision and power than he had in years. His transformation was more than physical. His confidence returned. His outlook shifted. What began as a frightening accident became, in his words, a wake-up call wrapped in a blessing. Today, James shares his story openly, not as a tale of failure, but as a reminder of how vital it is to train the parts of ourselves we can't see. That moment became the turning point that changed James's future. And it wasn't just the exercises or rehab. It was a simple truth that most people over 60 never hear. The true guardians of balance aren't your bones or even your large muscles. They're 7 small, often ignored muscles in your lower legs, working silently behind the scenes to keep you steady, stable, and upright. These muscles don't just help you walk. They're your personal balance team. They control how your body moves through space, how your foot meets the ground, and how you stay centered, even on unpredictable surfaces. Let's break it down. The tibialis anterior plays a critical role in lifting the front of your foot as you take each step, ensuring your toes don't drag or catch. Then there are the peroneus longus and peroneus brevis, which hug the sides of your calves and provide crucial support for your ankles, especially important when you're on uneven ground or turning quickly. Your gastrocnemius and soleus, better known as your calf muscles, power the push-off in every step, propelling your body forward. The flexor hallucis longus helps stabilize the arch and big toe, tiny but essential parts of your foundation. And finally, the extensor digitorum longus controls the extension and spreading of your toes, giving you better surface grip and balance control. Individually, they might not sound impressive, but together, they form the team that determines whether you stride forward with confidence or hesitate at a step, fearful of falling. When these muscles are strong, your body moves in harmony. When they weaken, which they often do first with age, each step becomes a gamble. You may not feel pain or notice it right away, but the risk grows silently. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that lower leg muscle strength declines nearly 40% faster than other major muscle groups after age 60. That's a sobering number. Why does this happen? Several reasons: neurological slowdown, decreased daily muscle stimulation, and even the shoes we wear. Today's heavily cushioned sneakers often do the stabilizing work for us, causing these vital muscles to grow lazy. You might be healthy overall, active, mobile, even strong in other areas, but if these 7 muscles are neglected, your fall risk skyrockets. In fact, according to a 2022 study from the Mayo Clinic, older adults with weak lower leg muscles were nearly 4 times more likely to suffer serious falls that required hospitalization. Here's the surprising part. Almost 90% of those seniors had no idea their falls were linked to these small but essential muscles. They were focused on big-picture issues, hip strength, joint health, or balance in general, while the real culprit quietly deteriorated below the knees. If you're still here with me, it means you care about your future health, and that matters. So let me ask, have you noticed subtle shifts in your balance? Do you ever feel a little unstable or hesitate to step off a curb without holding something? These are not just signs of aging. They're warning lights, small but significant, telling you that your body's internal balance system is asking for support. But here's the truth. If you recognize the early signs, you can act before it's too late. So what are the red flags that those overlooked lower leg muscles are weakening? Let's start with something many brush off: the shuffle. You begin to notice that your steps are shorter, your feet barely leave the ground, and it feels like you're dragging them, even on smooth flooring. You might chalk it up to aging, but it's a sign that your foot-lifting muscles aren't firing like they used to. Then there are the threshold terrors. A little bump in the doorway or a curb outside suddenly becomes an obstacle. You hesitate, mentally calculating each foot lift, as if your body needs a second to trust itself. And what about toe stub troubles? If you've caught your toes on rugs, shoes, or cracks in the sidewalk more than once or twice a month, that's not just clumsiness. It's a bright red flag. Your ability to lift and clear your toes while walking is declining. Now let's talk about uneven surface anxiety. Remember when you used to enjoy a walk across the lawn or a cobblestone path? But now, you instinctively avoid them, opting for flat sidewalks instead. That change isn't random. It's your body quietly compensating for weaker stabilizing muscles. If your foot fatigue sets in faster than it used to, if your legs feel heavy, slow, or unresponsive even on short walks, your lower leg muscles are waving a white flag. Or maybe you've experienced ankle wobbles, those unsettling little rolls or twists, especially when taking stairs or making quick turns. They're more than annoying. They're warnings. And finally, there's balance hesitation. You start reaching for walls, countertops, or the back of chairs. Not because you're dizzy, but because you're uncertain. It's not in your head, it's in your legs. If even one of these signs feels familiar, your body is trying to tell you something. These aren't just passing inconveniences. They are early cries for help from muscles that have been working silently for decades and are now asking for attention. So here's the big takeaway. Don't wait for a fall to wake you up. James Carter didn't get any grand warning. Like so many others, he dismissed the clues until the day his body failed him. But it wasn't his age that took him down. It was 7 neglected muscles that no one ever mentioned to him. Thankfully, his story didn't end there. And yours doesn't have to either. Just 2 minutes a day of simple, focused movement can reawaken these critical muscles and give you back control over your balance and stability. It doesn't require a gym or fancy equipment. You can do it right at home, whether it's lifting your toes in place, doing gentle ankle circles, or practicing heel-to-toe walking. These quick routines can start reversing years of unnoticed decline. They're small actions with massive impact. James got a second chance. And now, he's made it his mission to help others avoid the same painful experience. The question is, will you wait for a fall to force change? Or will you take that step today? Because for James, everything changed the day he began giving just 2 minutes a day to the part of his body most people ignore, the lower legs. Alongside the creeping fear of losing his independence, James found something surprisingly simple and incredibly effective. It wasn't a fancy program, no expensive gym memberships, no complex machines. What he discovered was a practical, down-to-earth routine made up of just 3 purposeful movements. These weren't intimidating workouts. They were simple actions that targeted the 7 essential muscles responsible for balance, fall prevention, and day-to-day confidence. Best of all, he could do them almost anywhere, while sipping morning coffee, chatting on the phone, or watching his favorite game show. This wasn't just about staying active. It was about reclaiming freedom, step by step. Exercise 1. Power toe raises. Strength from the ground up. Here's how to do it. Start by sitting in a firm, comfortable chair. Place your feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart. Now, without lifting your heels, raise your toes and the balls of your feet as high as you comfortably can. Hold that raised position for a slow count of 2, then gently lower your feet back down. Repeat this movement 15 times. Why is this small action so powerful? Because it directly activates the tibialis anterior, one of the most important muscles in your lower leg. This muscle is responsible for lifting your toes when you walk, helping you clear obstacles and navigate uneven surfaces. Sadly, it's also one of the first muscles to weaken with age, often without any warning. When it fails, the risk of tripping skyrockets. But when you strengthen this muscle, something amazing happens. Your gait improves. Each step becomes more confident, more stable, and more controlled. James didn't wait for a physical therapist to show up. He took charge. After a week of toe raises, the movement felt smoother, so he stepped it up. He began with 10 seated reps, then added 5 more while standing, using the kitchen counter for support. By the 3rd week, he was doing all 15 repetitions standing tall. That transition, from sitting to standing, may seem small, but it changes everything. It transforms a passive motion into active strength building. And James had a clever routine to keep it consistent. He did his toe raises during commercial breaks while watching Wheel of Fortune. "I used to dread those commercials," he joked. "Now they're my power-up time." One simple adjustment turned what used to be idle time into something that actively rebuilt his balance, strengthened his body, and restored his confidence, right in his own living room. Exercise 2. Balance building heel walk. Activate and align. This next movement might feel unusual at first, but it's a game changer when it comes to strengthening your balance system. Here's how to do it. Stand tall with good posture. Gently lift your toes off the ground so that you're balancing on your heels. Once you're steady, take 10 to 15 slow, intentional steps forward. Keep your core lightly engaged and your eyes looking straight ahead. This helps with posture and coordination. Aim to complete 3 sets of this heel walk, taking short breaks in between. Need to modify? If you're just starting out, stay near a wall or kitchen counter so you can reach out if needed. If you're feeling a bit more confident, try walking freely without support. And for those looking to challenge themselves, take 5 careful steps with your eyes gently closed, focusing completely on your inner sense of body positioning, known as proprioception. Why does this matter? Because heel walking activates an entire chain of muscles vital for balance. Your ankles, shins, calves, and even your hips. It also helps fine-tune your body's internal GPS, teaching it how to adjust in real time. That ability to make split-second corrections can mean the difference between catching yourself and taking a hard fall. Let's look at James again. He started off barely managing 5 shaky steps, gripping the kitchen counter with both hands. "I probably looked like a tightrope walker," he laughed later. But after a few weeks, something shifted. By week 4, James was walking confidently across his backyard without holding on to anything. His posture was upright, his steps sure. And as his wife watched from the kitchen window, she wiped away tears, proud, relieved, and overjoyed. Exercise 3. Brain-boosting alphabet writing, where precision meets purpose. This final exercise blends coordination, mental focus, and muscle control into one simple yet powerful routine. Here's how it works. Sit in a comfortable chair. Lift one foot slightly off the ground, and using your big toe, begin writing the letters of the alphabet in the air. Go slow. Make each letter large and distinct, as if you're tracing it with a pen. Switch feet when one gets tired. Start with just A through E, and gradually add more letters as your control improves. Why is this important? Because it doesn't just strengthen your foot and ankle muscles, it also trains your brain. This exercise forces your nervous system to fire with precision, reactivating neural pathways that tend to weaken with age. It's like physical therapy for both your feet and your memory. James put a personal twist on it. Instead of starting with the alphabet, he traced his granddaughter's name in the air. "She thought it was magic," he said with a chuckle. It became their little secret, a game that doubled as therapy, bringing joy and strength at the same time. Your transformation begins not with grand gestures, but with these small, intentional acts. These 3 exercises, if practiced consistently, can restore the strength of the 7 overlooked muscles that protect your independence, your balance, and your future. Timeline: what you can expect. Over time. Let's walk through what this journey actually looks like week by week. Change doesn't happen overnight, but within a short time, you'll begin noticing signs that your body is waking up. Signals that these long-ignored muscles are finally coming back online. Week 1. The awakening. This is where it all begins. You may suddenly feel muscles in your feet and lower legs that you didn't even remember having. Your steps become more intentional. You start to catch yourself before a misstep becomes a stumble. James described this first week as the moment my feet started talking to my brain again. That reconnection, however small it seems, is the foundation of lasting stability. Week 2. The strength surge. By now, your movements feel noticeably more fluid. You'll likely find it easier to get up from a chair or navigate the stairs without hesitation. James was shocked to notice his golf game improving, not because he was swinging harder, but because his legs offered better stability and control. That's the power of working from the ground up. Week 4. The balance breakthrough. This is where things get exciting. Your muscles and nervous system begin working together in sync. You'll walk across uneven surfaces, gravel, grass, or a bumpy sidewalk, with new confidence. For James, walking across his backyard without fear was a turning point. His wife, watching from the porch, cried tears of joy. That moment proved it was all worth the effort. Week 8. A new you. After 2 consistent months, your transformation becomes undeniable. Clinical studies show that seniors who follow this routine for 8 weeks significantly improve their balance scores, sometimes matching the results of individuals 10 to 20 years younger. James not only felt younger, he lived younger. He even began teaching these exercises to other veterans, helping them rediscover strength and pride in their movement. Insider tips for long-term success. When's the best time to do these? Right after breakfast when your muscles are warm, or during evening TV time when your body is relaxed. The real secret isn't in when you do them, but how consistently you do them. Make it a daily ritual. Same time, same place. Let it become automatic. This is where habit stacking comes in handy. Link each exercise to something you already do. Do your toe raises while brushing your teeth. Try your heel walks while waiting for your coffee to brew. Practice your alphabet writing during the evening news. These little associations help you build momentum without even thinking about it. Want a few helpful tools? A basic kitchen timer helps keep you accountable. A yoga mat provides comfort. Grip socks can prevent slipping. And for those looking for a challenge, a balance pad can safely increase difficulty as you progress. But most importantly, know when to pause. If you experience sharp pain, dizziness, or notice no improvement after 6 weeks, stop and consult your doctor. These movements are designed to support your health, not replace proper medical care. Always work alongside your healthcare provider, especially if you have existing conditions. There's no doubt that James's success story could be your next chapter. Just half a year ago, he was sitting at his kitchen table, flipping through brochures for assisted living, wondering if his independence was slipping away for good. His once cherished golf clubs sat untouched in the garage, coated in dust, a quiet symbol of dreams he thought were behind him. He felt like life was slowly fading into a routine of limits and restrictions. But today, everything's different. James is not only back to playing full rounds of golf, but he's also hiking local trails with his grandchildren, their laughter echoing through the trees. He's leading a fall prevention group at the VA hospital, sharing his journey and giving others hope. His physical therapist was astonished. His balance scores matched those of active men 20 years younger. James smiled and said, "I spent 30 years defending freedom. Now, I fight for my own, just 2 minutes at a time." And James's decision sparked a ripple effect. His friends joined in. One danced at his granddaughter's wedding, another tackled stairs he hadn't dared to climb in years. This transformation isn't just about fall prevention. It's about reigniting joy, rebuilding strength, reclaiming independence, and embracing the right to live boldly, no matter your age. If you're still watching and still reading, that says something powerful about you. It means you care about your health, your freedom, and your ability to stay in charge of the life you've worked hard to build. Today, you've learned 3 simple movements and discovered 7 often overlooked muscles that could change everything for you. You've followed James's story. Maybe you saw a part of your own in it. Let today be your turning point. The day you no longer fear decline, but instead reclaim your strength. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. No excuses, no special equipment, just a bit of time and a whole lot of determination. These 7 small muscles in your lower legs, once forgotten, are actually the keys to your confidence, your stride, and your safety. They decide whether you walk into the future with certainty or hesitate at every step. They're the difference between stumbling into fear or stepping into freedom. So now, I want to hear from you. What part of this video resonated with you most? Was it a sign you've been ignoring? A new exercise you're eager to try? Or maybe it was the reminder that small, consistent actions add up to life-changing results. Please take a moment to scroll down and share one thing you've learned and one action you'll take today. Your words might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to take control of their own journey. And never forget, James's transformation didn't come from luck. It came from a decision. A simple decision to stop waiting and start moving. You can do the same. You don't need a gym or fancy gear, just 2 minutes a day. And the belief that it's never too late to feel strong, steady, and safe in your own body again. If this video helped you, inspired you, or gave you a fresh perspective, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more tips just like this. Together, we're not just preventing falls. We're building resilience, restoring hope, and paving a future filled with strong, confident steps. Until we meet again, keep moving forward, stay strong, and may you be blessed with health, happiness, and peace. And remember, subscribe to Healthy Aging Blueprint so you never miss a tool that could change your life.